All right, hello everyone. If I could have your attention, I will be talking about some multi-chain stuff here, specifically around the Bitcoin economy. My name is Brian Mahoney. I'm the VP of Business Development at Thesis. We are a Bitcoin venture studio, and today I will be talking about building the Bitcoin economy, or the cross-chain Bitcoin economy. So what does that mean? Ponzi-nomics, right? That's what we're all here for. Just kidding. Value creation, okay? So for us, what we're focused on is, yes, yield farming loops and building a Bitcoin Fi ecosystem, but ultimately building a place where you can put your Bitcoin to work in a safe environment, okay? A little bit about us. We are multi-cyclers, meaning we've been in this space building since 2013. That's Thesis, and we've had many projects over the years. You might know a few of them. One of them is Fold. It's the largest on-ramp in the US that's going public on NASDAQ at the end of the year, has about 700,000 monthly active users. Another project we have is TBTC, which is the largest Bitcoin bridge and most decentralized and cross-chain Bitcoin bridge in market today. We have about 600 million plus now in total Bitcoin bridged in places like Solana, Ethereum, Mezo, et cetera, et cetera. We have Acre, which is a Bitcoin staking project that's coming to market here very shortly. It is building the cross-chain liquidity and rewards network for Bitcoin and getting yield on your Bitcoin. And then we have Mezo, which is what I'm talking about today. That is our most recent project. We just launched. It's a Bitcoin L2 that's EVM compatible. And I'll be talking a little bit about what makes Mezo special. First, here's the TLDR for the developers out there. Bitcoin for gas. We think this is a major use case for building a Bitcoin L2 and a Bitcoin economy. If you look at the landscape today, not many of them actually offer Bitcoin native gas or native Bitcoin transactions on their chain directly. So for us, that's a key and critical differentiator when you think about Mezo. The second is EVM compatible. That's not the forefront of Mezo, but certainly opens you up to the liquidity that's across Ethereum and other EVM ecosystems and L2s, as well as is very developer friendly. And then the third component, very generic here, but ecosystem support. We have quite a lot in the cooker for projects that are building on Mezo, including a partnership and an accelerator program with Tim Draper and the Draper University that was announced last week, as well as many other things on the ecosystem, the building side. So Bitcoin for gas, it's Bitcoin maxi friendly, right? For us, we're thinking about, we like to call them the Stoics internally, but market likes to call them Bitcoin maxis. For us, that's one of the key pillars to really creating this value generation and ecosystem unlock for the next wave of Bitcoin. OrangeKit, this is a developer SDK that allows for native Bitcoin bridging directly on Mezo. So you can use your EVM wallet and put in Bitcoin directly on Mezo, which, today, if you're trying to use like cold storage, for example, with one of the main Bitcoin wallets like an Xverse, it's very, very challenging to put your Bitcoin in directly. So this is what OrangeKit enables, and we have that as an embedded feature on Mezo. EVM compatible, pretty self-explanatory, but, is nice and caters to builders in the space. Price Oracle per block, creating a robust liquidity ecosystem across Mezo. And that's obviously a key piece, especially when you have so many different assets and you want to make sure that, stable coins keep their peg, for example. And low cost fees, affordable, not cheap. So of course, Bitcoin is sound money. That's why, we're building a Bitcoin native ecosystem. We want to make sure that it's a place where folks can put their Bitcoin to work, but, not doing it in a way that they're paying ridiculous gas fees and having to spend the most sound money to use it. Now, I'm going to get into a little bit of our product strategy here at Mezo, and I like to use analogies when we talk about product strategy. So for this, we'll be talking about the concept of the cathedral and the bazaar, okay? So when you think about like a city in Europe, right, an old city in Europe, right, usually the cathedral is at the center of the town. It's the place, it's the anchor where people hang out. It's a very traditional, structure. Not a lot of innovation, not a lot of chaos. You come there for a place of peace and worship, and it gives you kind of a basic, service to what you're looking for. On the other side, you have the bazaar, chaotic environment, a lot of innovation, a lot of chaos, kind of like outside this event right here. Lots of great conversations happening, and that's what we're equating to SocialFi. So for us, the focus of the Mezo ecosystem is Bitcoin Fi and SocialFi, and we're thinking of Mezo as, because it's the economic layer, it's very, effectively an on-chain city, right? So right now, this is a very, very streamlined and very high-level product roadmap. But right now, we are live with Mezo Points, meaning you can deposit a number of different Bitcoin assets, earn points as one does, right? Or also stable coins that are Bitcoin-backed on the Mezo chain. but this is going to rapidly converge, and when we're on mainnet later this year, into the main core use cases of SocialFi and BitcoinFi. So zooming in on SocialFi, these are the basic types of use cases that we're unlocking. We are currently accepting applications to build on Mezo right now. As I mentioned, it's EVM compatible, and we have a number of cross-chain supporters as well. So any builders who are looking to come to a Bitcoin L2 and building in the SocialFi landscape, hit me up about any of these use cases because we have quite a number of opportunities. And then on the BitcoinFi side, I'm going to focus a little bit more on this because we are, this is an area where we're spending a lot of time because it's obviously, a key component of capitalism and economy, right? Building a system that's Bitcoin native and an economy that's Bitcoin native. So, of course, we're all familiar with these types of use cases, but how many use cases in this space are actually being built natively on chain with Bitcoin as a core asset? I don't know of many, and if anyone is building one, please get in touch with me. But for us, we're starting with the basic stuff of, if you think about the three components of finance, you have spot assets, which are done generally through like a DEX or an AMM type solution. You want to get some yield on it, so you'll add a lending solution, and then you have derivatives on top. So we're building out those three products and services around BitcoinFi right now. And then, of course, all the supporting landscape around it, custodial support, wallets, right, stable coins, different types of use cases. So for us, this is a big focus right now as we're bringing the chain to market in Q4 and bootstrapping this with a single-sided market. So imagine you wanted to buy a house, okay? And you want to maybe use some Bitcoin to do it. Well, one option to buy a house is you could sell your Bitcoin, right? But that's not great. We'd rather collateralize your Bitcoin, keep your sound money, and get some stables against that. So for us, we want to avoid creating capital gains for you and instead use the system that's been, put in place, right? And be a little savvier with your finances, still keep your Bitcoin, but get that liquidity you need to buy the house. So take a loan out against it, and you can avoid a capital gains hit as well. And in essence, banking on yourself and doing this entirely on-chain in a Bitcoin native ecosystem and not relying on any bank or third-party system to do this for you. And also, one of the things, of course, there's variable interest. That's a core use case or a core feature of a lot of apps in the DeFi ecosystem today. But there's not a lot of great opportunities for fixed interest, right? Imagine if you could lock in a rate for 30 years like you can with your mortgage on US dollars, but do it in Bitcoin and have Bitcoin as collateral. That's the ultimate North Star for Mezo, and that's where we're going with this chain. So a quick use case here of what we're building out, and these are real products. So we're actually connecting into one of our existing companies, Fold, which is a fiat on-ramp right now that's regulated and licensed and going public on NASDAQ at the end of the year. And we're introducing a few different stablecoins, including our own, which is MUSD. So quick flow is you deposit Bitcoin and you would be able to borrow that dollars against it and use this MUSD asset that's collateralized one-to-one backed with Bitcoin in the ecosystem. And if you wanted to offload it back into the fiat system with USD, you can use a partner like Fold to do that. And that's entirely a 360 experience that for us, we think creates a pretty tremendous moat for putting your Bitcoin to work in real world use cases beyond just living in sort of these metaverse or on-chain environments. So record profits, another example, but really it's about bootstrapping BitcoinFi. That's what it's about here in Mezo. And just to kind of iterate on that flywheel again, this is how you would withdraw on MUSD, right? So you can, if you're familiar with like a mint and redeem model or a merchant model for a lot of the stable coins in today's day, but they're done by a centralized entity. Ours is completely decentralized, fully permissionless, 24/7, 365, and you can come between Bitcoin or the USD fiat environment directly and do it through our ecosystem. So a little bit of our partners, how we win. For us, it's all about building and making money with friends, right? That's what we're all about. So that's why SocialFi is such a core pillar of our go-to-market for Mezo, as well as our ecosystem. We have a big emphasis on referrals and network effects, right? Because cross-chain communities, we live and die by our communities in this space. So for us, there's a huge focus on that. And we're touching all these different use cases. So that's really the goal when we're thinking about Mezo is, bootstrapping and scaling a community and an economic layer and ultimately a city on chain that's built and powered by Bitcoin. And here's a map of the ecosystem too, just to kind of tie it all together. So Mezo's at the middle, which is you can think of sort of the economic layer, the home or the ledger for the transactions, right? And then we have some core apps. We're tapping into the TBTC asset, which we've built and has now been scaled across chain. So Mezo will be ultimately the canonical layer for TBTC. Right now, you have to go from Bitcoin to Ethereum to Mezo. Ultimately, we would love it if just Mezo is that core home and ledger, and that is the plan very shortly. So that's a pretty big unlock. And then also on the yield and reward side, what's one of the core drivers of the economy today? making some money on your money, right? So for us, that's what Acre unlocks is Bitcoin rewards on native Bitcoin yield, meaning you can actually get native Bitcoin rewards in Bitcoin. So everything on Bitcoin in short. Thank you for your time.